These publishing mistakes can cost you hundreds of dollars and months of your time. When I published my first book, I didn't know how easy it was to avoid these mistakes, and I made all of them. What are those mistakes and how can you avoid making them? And what can you do instead? Hi, my name is Deepak Thomas. I write fantasy and sci-fi based on Indian culture and history. You can read my first book for free, link in description. Now imagine if this video was titled Video About Book Publishing and had a random book cover on the thumbnail. Would you have clicked it? Probably not, because you wouldn't know what the video was about and why you should care. And that's the first mistake I made with my book, the title. What made my book special was that it was an epic fantasy based on Indian history, about a badass warrior princess, and I chose for my title, drumroll please, Born to be King, not even Queen. That title doesn't tell you anything about what makes my book special, no hints about the genre and the characters or the setting. So be specific with your book title, add all the elements that make your book special, and test it with people who haven't read your book. I'll put a link in the description for a great resource about book titles by Kindle Prono. What's the next thing that people look at after your title? Your book cover. And there's a huge mistake I made there as well. But we'll come back to that at the end of the video, because there are several pitfalls you have to avoid even before you think about the cover. Now imagine yourself in a bookstore. You're browsing the bookshelves and you find an amazing book cover. The title intrigues you. So what do you do next? You turn the book and read the back cover, which has a persuasive summary of the book. That is the book blurb. A blurb captures the essence of your story without giving away the plot. However, it shouldn't be so vague that the reader has no clue what's in the book. An ideal blurb will cause the reader to imagine the story for themselves. It'll set an expectation in their mind and they'll pick up the book to see if the story pans out the way they had imagined it. So blurb's super important, right? But after 2 years of writing my book, can you guess how much time I spent on my blurb? Not even 1 hour. Don't make that mistake. Research other books that your ideal reader loves, not the famous ones, but the niche ones that don't have a movie adaptation. Check how they've written their blurbs and borrow those elements. Avoid putting in too many character and place names from your story and make each sentence specific. And keep your blurb as short as possible. This next mistake cost me hundreds of dollars and delayed my second book by 7 months, and it has to do with the interior layout. Check out these two books. This one was done by a professional and this one was done by me on vellum. Can you spot the difference? Neither can your reader. But I didn't know that. So for my first book, I hired someone to do the interior layout for me. It was a disaster. They charged me hundreds of dollars and took ages to do even slight corrections. Worst part, if I have to ever change the text, I'll have to hire another contractor and go through that painful process again. Avoid my mistake. Do the interior layout yourself. You can use tools like Vellum that makes this process very easy. Trust me, I did this layout in half a day and I can change it whenever I want. You need that flexibility and it's too easy a task to outsource to anyone else. I have added the link to Vellum in the description. The caveat is it's only available on Mac, but I'm sure there are great options for PC users as well. And finally, the elephant in the room, the book cover. Now the issue with my cover is not that it's not pretty or well done. It has the same issues that my book title had. That is, it doesn't convey the Indian setting or the warrior princess. But there's another mistake I want you to avoid, especially if you're using original art. For my first book cover, the art and the text were part of a single file. If I have to update the size of the cover for a hardcover version, I can't do it. If I have to change the text on the back, I can't do it. Get the art and layout done separately. First, get the art made without the text, then resize the cover and overlay the text for different versions. There are graphic designers on Upwork and Fiverr who specialize in this stuff. And this gives you the flexibility to update the cover when needed, and also use just the art for advertising and book promotion. Plus, you can hire amazing artists who don't usually do book covers. I've linked the profile of my brilliant cover artist, Hazem Amin. He can do a banger job if you're looking for a great fantasy cover. And also the link to my super professional cover layout designer, Sinisa. However, you can do all of this amazing work but still fall flat if the story idea isn't good. And in my video about coming up with ideas, I talk about how to come up with engaging stories that sell. So I'd recommend checking that out. The idea is the biggest thing that will make or break your book. Either way, thanks a lot for watching. I'll talk to you in the next video.